what's up and welcome to another episode of Football Everyday, coming to you live and direct from Studio V here at One Utama. My name is Nelson. Joining me today in studio, my bro Ian Yee.
What's up?
And a special guest, Maybank customer, Siti Sara. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for taking the time to be here with us. Well, as customary here on Football Everyday, we got to first start by asking you which team you support and why so.
Okay, well, I support Red Devil.
Cool.
AKA
We've got another Man United supporter on the
Man
show.
United.
Okay. Yeah.
So what made you support United? I mean, was it
Well,
from
simply
young
just
or
David Beckham.
yeah, I should say that started from Giggs,
right?
then
Alright.
Cantona, and then followed by Beckham.
Cool.
And Ronaldo.
Yeah, Ronaldo, number 7.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know, Ian and I support United too. Well, I think we're a bit disappointed, right, with the way the season has gone. But well, okay. So let's start with United, where they beat Stoke City by 4-0 in their final game of the season last weekend.
Yeah.
Bro, not a great performance, I think, but look, they were professional and did what they had to, right?
Yeah. They played really well. I think it was. It could have easily been like five or six goals if Berbatov knew how to score anything. But I'm not overly disappointed, actually, to be honest with you, because I think to finish the season 1 point behind that Chelsea team is pretty good, considering the kind of defensive injuries we had mid-season. That was really bad to lose pretty much your whole defense except Patrice Evra. So I'm not too disappointed. I think the boys did a good job.
Right. I mean, Sarah, would you say United deserved to beat Stoke?
Yeah, we did, because you can see more of Nani. I mean, especially the previous past few games. And then I love Evra. Obviously, he also assists few goals within last few games. And I think we did well.
All right.
And we deserve.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, we were saying just now, a season that looked quite promising has ended with only the League Cup, right? But how would you rate their season on the whole, and what do you think Fergie should do? I mean, look, speaking of Evra, rumour has it now that he wants a new challenge and is going to Real Madrid or Inter Milan or something like that.
I think it was quite the opposite. I think actually it was a season that promised that actually a lot of people thought that we'd do worse. You know, that now that Ronaldo was leaving and Tevez was gone, so people thought that they probably won't be challenging. But to bring it up to the last day with 1 point in it. I mean, you can't do much more. As for the Ever rumors, I don't think it's true. I think he likes his time. Right? Yeah. I
mean, look, he looks definitely a future United captain as well, right?
Yeah, he's a very influential figure in the dressing room with his personality, and he has a lot of experience as well in international football. So I don't think Fergie will let him go on easily. Yeah.
All right. Okay, and following United's 4-0 win over Stoke City, Chelsea responded brilliantly by scoring twice the number of goals against Wigan to seal the title. So congratulations to Chelsea and all the Chelsea fans out there. Yeah. Ian, look, once they got the penalty for the second goal, you knew it was over, right?
Yeah.
And Wigan were down to 10 men.
With the red card, there was never a chance. Like Ferguson said when he went in at the halftime, found out about a red card, he said, that's it. Right? That was the title gone.
So, I mean, Sarah, would you say Chelsea are deserved winners over the course of the whole season?
They played quite well this year, and you can see that, I mean, even more of their midfielder, I mean, most of the players even can score. Kalu, Maguda, it's very
all-round performance.
I think what Ancelotti has done with the team is that he's making them push even further up the pitch. With the Jose Mourinho teams, they kind of sit back a bit because they knew their defense was rock solid.
Right.
If you come at them, you won't find a way through, and they'll hit you on the counter-attack with the quick players like Joe Cole and Robert and Damien Duff. So that was their style. But right now, Ancelotti is just making everybody push forward. So they're pressing with right from midfield with Lampard, Ballack, and Mikel is the only one that's staying back.
Ashley Cole and
and then you got on the wing backs are pushing forward. So that's been their style of play. That's why they've had so many big wins. So when certain teams they can't handle it anymore, Chelsea just keep pounding them, just keep the ball in their half, and there's just nothing they can do, and they just have to submit, so to speak, to the power.
They're deserved winners?
Definitely, and I'm not going to take anything away from Chelsea. I thought they have been brilliant, especially Frank Lampard. I do not understand why he's not in the PFA Team of the Year, and I think, and it is this whole thing about Rooney. They want him to lead the English charge in the World Cup and all that. But I think Frank Lampard should be the Player of the Year.
This is the moment, right? I mean, look at that 30-31
Yeah, I know, and especially because Wayne Rooney didn't really do well at the beginning of the season. You have to remember that.
Yeah.
But Lampard has been there the whole way, keeping Chelsea ticking, keeping Chelsea going. 21 goals from midfield.
Yeah. And he's really good at staying injury-free as well, right?
Yeah, he takes good care of himself. Yeah.
Great stuff. But it's time for our very first break here on today's edition of Football Everyday, brought to you by Maybank Premier Accounts. So do stay tuned, and we'll be right back with more football chat and banter after these messages. Welcome back to Football Everyday, brought to you by Maybank Premier Accounts, with me, Nelson, Ian, and a special guest, Siti Sara, who's also a Man United fan. Moving on very quickly with other results, I know it's like academic, but Arsenal thrashed an understrength Fulham 4-0, while Aston Villa went down by a solitary goal to Blackburn. As Burnley finished their season on a high with a 4-2 win over Spurs, who had already qualified for the Champions League, right? And Liverpool could only draw 0-0 at relegated Hull City. Ian, a quick word on Liverpool's season then. Rumours are already circulating that Steven Gerrard is on his way out to Man City for £40 million. So what do you make of that? And then what of Rafa? Should he go? Should he stay?
Rafa should have gone a while ago, because at first, mid-season, you guys know, on Football Everyday, I've always been saying that if Liverpool want to go forward, they should keep Rafa Benitez, because he's done such a great job with Liverpool. Yeah. Under the previous managers, Gerrard, Houllier and all that, Liverpool was going through this season of mediocrity. But Rafa came in, they went to the Champions League finals, they won the Champions League.
They won the Europa Cup.
Yeah, and last season, I know there's the whole cliche about, if you win the league, you deserve it. But I thought Liverpool deserved to win the league last season. They played fantastic football. Yeah. So he's brought them that far, and I think he should stay. But I think it's come to a point where it just doesn't work anymore. Footballing-wise, Rafa should stay. But if you take in the whole picture about the ownership, and he is waiting for that compensation package if he gets fired. He gets £16 million if he gets fired. So I don't know. I think it's a bit of a conflict of interest, and he's no longer that interested in managing Liverpool anymore. And
he's kind of lost the fans a bit of late, right? I know Liverpool fans are saying, Rafa should go, get rid of Rafa.
I think in the UK, I have some friends in Liverpool. I think they believe in Rafa. They want Rafa to stay. Right. Those are the sentiments there, because there they feel the hatred towards the foreign owners even more, because this is their club, this is their city. Yeah. So they are still pretty much behind Rafa, and but that's the feeling you get from them.
Right, Sarah. What do you think of Liverpool in general?
Well, I think that. They can't. Of course, they can't let their Gerrard, right? Because he's the captain. You can see that the difference between when the game is without Gerrard and with Gerrard, because it's totally different. And
different
of
Liverpool,
course,
right?
Even Torres, they need to keep Torres and Gerrard, because even ever since Alonso went to Real Madrid, it's kind of hard for them to get their game back.
Yep.
But I think personally for Gerrard, if he gets a chance, he should leave.
He should leave, right?
It'll be bad for Liverpool, you're right. But if he gets a way out, leave, right? He should just go, because it's not going to get any better next season.
Yeah, my sentiments exactly. But bro, what of Spurs' achievement making it into the Champions League? Sheb's going to be really happy,
but he wouldn't be happy with the loss.
Yeah.
Because knowing Shebi is he's all about winning, right? I've played some sports with him, and it was a pretty interesting experience. He's really competitive, so I think he wouldn't be happy with the loss, even though they got to the Champions League. Even if I was a Spurs fan, I don't know exactly how he feels. What's the point of getting a Champions League if you lose to Burnley? Yeah. You're gonna get so much tougher opposition in the Champions League, so they gotta sort that out.
But what about? Deserve it, fourth spot then?
Yeah, I think so. I was tipping Man City to go for it. I think they have a bit more quality, but I guess it's better for City to go, because it'll be a British manager. They have a lot of British players there, and I think it would be better for the Premier League for that. Yeah.
All right. Okay, time now for our email of the week that comes from Ivan Lim, who's a Man United supporter again. Ivan says
we're everywhere.
Yeah. Well, Ivan echoes what we were talking about. He says that although they only managed to win the League Cup this season, they should be proud of their achievements. As they pushed Chelsea all the way without Ronaldo and Tevez, and most people weren't expecting them to do so. Sarah, what do you think of that? I mean, without Ronaldo, without Tevez, lots of injuries.
I can see that I'm MU now this year. We play more like a team compared to previously. Ronaldo too overshadowed, and then you can see more of Nani, and then we have Valencia.
Yes.
I mean,
Park
maybe
as
it's
well,
not
right?
as good, but then we can see that. And then even Giggs, Scholes, great
The old
performance
hands,
by
right?
them.
Yeah. You think like the final game of the season, there was Van der Sar, Neville, Scholes, and Giggs all on the same pitch.
Yeah.
So it shows that with a manager like Ferguson, you can really advance your career. But we should. I think we should be careful not to take anything away from Chelsea as well, because we're all Manchester United fans. But Chelsea were magnificent this season.
All right. Well, for the winning email, Ivan, you've picked up a cool prize courtesy of Football Every Day, and if you're also a Maybank account holder, you'll also take home a Maybank pack consisting of a Maybank bag and an Adidas Premium. To write to us as well, football@thestar.com.my is the address to do so. Time now for our second and final break here on the show. We'll be right back with more chat and banter on Football Every Day, brought to you by Maybank Premier Account. And you're back with us on Football Every Day, brought to you by Maybank Premier Accounts, here on the third and final segment of today's show. Well, and as there aren't any more EPL matches for now, let's take a look at three major cup finals still to come, starting with the Europa League final happening in Germany between Atletico Madrid and giant killers Fulham. This happens tomorrow morning, in case you didn't know. Ian, look, Roy Hodgson was recently nominated LMA Manager of the Year, right? So have you been impressed with Fulham's season so far?
Very much. I think it's just amazing what he's done with that team. He's taking a lot of players that people thought, they're over it. I don't think they can do it anymore. And he's rejuvenated their careers. Talking about players like Danny Murphy, Bobby Zamora. Damien Duff. Bobby Zamora was the laughing stock. They had songs about him putting the ball in the rosy and things like that. And it was true. That was how poorly he was playing. And look at what Hodgson has done to his career. So really, really impressive.
Sarah, Fulham, impressive for you?
Yeah, it is, because they are the only team I think represent. Liverpool lost to Atletico Madrid, so I guess
credit to Fulham.
The only English team in a European Cup final.
Right. So what do you think of their chances tomorrow morning in the final against A Madrid? Led by former United striker Diego Forlan.
I think they will fall short. Yeah, it will be. I really want them to win. I really hope they do, but I think because Zamora is not really fit. And Atletico Madrid have just so much going forward. I'm not sure that the likes of, Hunglen is a great defender, but he's used to more of the rough and tough kind of of stuff in the Premier League. But these players got skill, like of course it's not just Forlan, there's Aguero as well, right? And if I'm not mistaken, Simao is in the team, so. And Reyes, in La Liga, it's just a different player from when he was with Arsenal. So I don't think they can do it.
So that's second place for Fulham, but it will still be an achievement, right?
Yeah,
so hats off to Fulham. We'll see what happens tomorrow morning. Okay, and on Saturday, the English FA Cup final sees league champions Chelsea. Well, it pains me to say league champions, but
it could be like 9-0, right? 9-0
against Wembley. Sarah, let me start with you. Look, having secured the league crown, you think the Blues are in perfect condition to complete the double?
Yep, they are.
So can you see them being Portsmouth?
With silent, they're quite tough. And against, I guess they're gonna
easily take the FA Cup.
Record scoreline, I think.
Got to ask you, if you can realistically see Portsmouth, creating their own and giving a batting performance like what they did to knock out Spurs, creating an upset.
I've heard some pundits and commentators trying to say, it's the FA Cup, anything can happen. No, it's not going to happen. No, it's not going to happen.
Give me a score prediction.
I think it could be easily 4-0, 5-0, depending on...
Maybe 8, right?
Yeah, maybe 8 again. They might go one better and go and do 9, so who knows.
All right, so that's interesting as well. And lastly, the Santiago Bernabeu will host the Champions League final on May 22nd where Jose Mourinho's Inter Milan face Luis van Gaal's Bayern Munich. Ian, look, both teams are playing really well right now. Look, Bayern have just taken the German League title, while Inter are perfectly poised to do so with their final game against Siena at the weekend.
Yeah.
So, bro, how do you see this one panning out?
Inter Milan to win all the way, because honestly, Bayern have not. I don't see why they are in the. I mean, they're really lucky to be in the Champions League final. Because first of all, against United, they had a really lucky break with a red card.
Right.
United were all over them. Could have easily scored again 5 goals by halftime.
Yeah.
So they conceded a soft goal, just before halftime, and then the red card just totally ruined the game. So that game they should have lost. But the next game against Lyon, it was so easy. Lyon were just awful. There was no inspiration. There was no motivation from the players. It was terrible. They just walked past.
But against United, bro, I mean, look, it was that one man, Ian Robben. So, I mean, how key will he be? Look, he comes up against his former manager at Chelsea, Mourinho.
Yeah, true. But Mourinho knows everything about Robben. That's the kind of manager, he knows how to neutralize players, and Robben will be top on his list. So the thing about Bayern Munich is they have relied a lot on Robben this season to build him up.
Ribery,
No, not really. I don't think he's been that great this season. So they've relied a lot on Robben to come up with the magic, and then the rest of the team just works hard to make sure that he gets that platform. So Mourinho will be all over that, he knows.
All right, Sarah, will it be Inter or Bayern in your opinion?
I think it will be Inter.
Inter?
Because Mourinho.
Because of Mourinho, right?
Exactly.
And he's going to prove something to Roman Abramovich, right? That, hey, you got rid of me. Hey, I won the Champions League with another team. Right?
Yeah.
So very quickly, Sarah, let me ask you. The World Cup is around the corner as well in South Africa, starting on June 11th. So who would your personal favourite be for the World Cup?
Portugal.
Who should we look out for?
Portugal. But
Wow.
I think it's kind of hard for Portugal because we are, under one group with
Brazil, the Ivory Coast,
Ivory Coast, and then Korea.
Right.
So it's going to be tough.
But you want Portugal to win? I mean, is your favourite team Portugal?
I want to, but on paper, I guess it's quite hard to be done.
Right.
It's one of the weakest Portugal sides in a while.
So Ian, I mean, personally, who do you think we should look out for in the World Cup? Who's going to make waves?
Oh, I think
Or
definitely
any
Spain will
players
be up
gonna
there.
catch the eye?
I think it's going to be somebody that maybe we wouldn't expect too much because everybody's thinking that Spain will win it, right?
Right.
It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, they do have the best squad.
Right. There's also this scientist who has predicted that Germany is going to win based on some mathematical formula they came up with. Said they will either win the 2006 one or the current one. So he's like really, really sure they're going to win this one.
Yeah, the thing about the Germans is that they're like the Chelsea of international football. They're disciplined, they're physical, they're strong. They have power in the team. So they tend to do well in cup competitions like this, in tournaments and one-off tournaments.
So you never know, right?
Yeah.
All right, nice one, guys. So to round it up, as usual, today's Football Everyday Fun Fact is on Chelsea's title-winning manager, Carlo Ancelotti. Did you know, guys, that Ancelotti has said that he would like to be the Italian national team's manager after the upcoming 2010 World Cup? Look, Ian, the guy won things with AC Milan, and he's done it in his first season at Chelsea. So your thoughts on his achievements? And I mean, look, can he do a job for the national team?
I'm sure he can. I'm sure he can. I hope he just goes next year. Just does it. Then maybe Chelsea can get Rafa Benitez or something. Who knows? That'd be
or
perfect.
Gianfranco Zola.
Yeah, Zola would fit in. Yeah.
Well, Ian, Sarah, been a pleasure, bro.
Yeah.
As always, great to have had you with us throughout the whole season. Well, that about brings us to the end of this season's edition of Football Everyday, brought to you by Maybank Premier Accounts.
Aww.
So yeah, till we see you soon. Hopefully, during the World Cup that's coming real soon. Thanks for watching, and it's ciao from us here on Football Everyday, brought to you by Maybank Premier Accounts.
Bye.